Two Swedish journalists who have been sentenced to 11 years in prison in Ethiopia are facing a very difficult decision. NTD News met with their lawyer.
Two Swedish journalists, Martin Schibbye and Johan Persson, who are jailed in Ethiopia, are now facing a difficult decision. On December 27, 2011, they were sentenced to 11 years imprisonment in Ethiopia for having illegally entered the country and allegedly promoting terrorism. Now they have two choices: to take up to 2 years to appeal the verdict to a court that is not independent from the regime, as Ethiopia is a one-party state, or they can plead guilty and then beg the President and Prime Minister Meles Zenawi for pardon. Thomas Olsen is a Swedish lawyer representing the jailed journalists.
The question is now, if you are going to appeal, are you then making the process with the pardon delayed? But that's a decision that Johan and Martin have to take by themselves.
Bengt Nilsson is a journalist who has worked in Ethiopia. He thinks the only way out for the Swedish journalists is to seek pardon. He says the Ethiopian culture is very different from Sweden, and there's a custom to accept that you are guilty as a prisoner and then appeal for pardon.
I've done the same thing myself, exactly. During the war in 1989, I entered northern Ethiopia illegally as a journalist together with a guerrilla group, the TPLF. I was traveling with them for 2 weeks in a lorry, and that particular group, the TPLF, was headed by Meles Zenawi, who is now the Prime Minister. So I did exactly the same thing those two Swedish people have done now. So Meles Zenawi knows exactly what it's all about.
Schibbye and Persson have been in Ethiopia's Kality prison since July 1st of last year, after being arrested and shot at by the Ethiopian military when they were caught traveling with the ONLF guerrilla in Ethiopia. The pair has until January 10th to appeal the verdict. NTD News, Stockholm, Sweden.